Hello Globetrotters, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Lori, and in this community we aim to educate, motivate, and inspire each other in all things travel related. So if you're feeling the vibe, then go ahead and feel free to stick around. Click that subscribe button. If you find that you're enjoying the video, that you're learning at least one thing new, then please support the channel by thumbs upping that video, liking it, and of course sharing it with others who may find the content educational, entertaining as well. Thank you to my day one subscribers, and thank you to all of my new subscribers. You guys have been rocking with me, and I really truly appreciate all of the support. Thank you to my returning viewers. Thanks for clicking on yet another video, and thank you to the first time viewers. I hope that you stick around and watch another video after this one is over. So as you can see from the thumbnail, I'm going to be sharing some things with you that you should definitely know before you take your trip to Thailand. So if this is something that you're interested in, then keep on watching. Come along. So I made a list, and I have it on my phone here, and I'm going to be looking down at the list, so I hope that you don't mind. So a couple of things that you should know. You should nod and bow, because people nod and bow. It's a way of saying thank you. It's a way of being gracious. As you saw when I went to the spa, they were nodding and they were bowing. Even when I would receive something from someone, whether it was my dinner being served or whether it was a purchase that I made that was being handed to me, I nodded and I bowed. I realized that in Taiwan, they would hand me things with both hands, and I would be expected to receive it also with both hands. So I would try to always make sure that my hands were not busy. I don't remember if I noticed that in Thailand, but I'll do some research, and if that is also the fact, I'll put that on the screen as well. But being gracious and being respectful by offering things with both hands and receiving things with both hands is very customary. Another thing you should know is that most of the workers who work with tourists, who interact with tourists, especially if they work at the hotels and the resorts and the restaurants, they're expected to know some basic English, and even more so, because honestly, the language was very difficult for me to try to acquire, and there were masculine and feminine tenses, and so you had to make sure that you were being careful about using the masculine or the feminine, whether you were addressing a male or a female. So I wanted to just not even trip over myself with that, and I just spoke in very simple English, and everyone seemed to be very receptive to me speaking that way. And of course, I made sure that I bowed and I smiled and I was gracious, and they were very, very gracious. The people were awesome, amazing. Best times to visit Thailand. You should know that there is a rainy season and there is a dry season. So I had to be in Taiwan for a business trip. I was doing a conference in Taipei, and so I figured since I was already close by, I would just hop on over to Thailand and see Phuket. So I had to go during the rainy season. So it was the rainy season in Taiwan, and it was the rainy season in Thailand. Now, it was also hot. So it was hot and muggy, and it was the down season. So even when you see video and pictures of people milling about and on the beach and at the beach club and on Bangla Road and everything like that, it may seem like a lot of people, but that's during the down season. This is not even the high season. So the high season is even more busy. So you can choose which you prefer, whether you wish to go during the high season or the low season, whether you wish to go during the dry season or the rainy season, because the rainy season is a low season, the dry season is the high season. Something else you should know, the US dollar is not common there. The US dollar is not accepted there. I did not see any place where they were encouraging that. Everything was quoted in baht. Everything was shown to you in baht. I use my credit card for larger purchases, and I told them to bill me in local currency, which is what you should always do. That way they're not doing it in your currency. Whenever you use a card, always have them charge you the funds in local currency. That saves you transaction fees along the way. Just my bonus tip. So the US dollar was not used. It was not common. It was not accepted. So I, of course, went to an ATM machine. Again, I did not bring cash and then try to change the cash at the airport because I'm trying to avoid those transaction fees, which just ebb away at the total value of my money. And so I went to an ATM machine directly there at the airport and took some cash out. I did this in Taiwan and I did this again in Thailand. And when I needed more, I found one again at a hotel or something like that, someplace safe, and removed cash from there as well. By the way, super, super safe. Phuket, super duper safe. So I felt comfortable walking around on my own. You know, I felt comfortable jumping on someone else's bike. I took a Uber, so to speak, a Bolt. I took a Bolt, which I chose a motorcycle, and I just got on the back of someone's random motorcycle to take a 20-minute drive down a mountain back to my hotel room. And this was at 11 o'clock at night, and I felt perfectly safe doing so. He was a gentleman. He forced me to put that helmet on my head, even though I had braids on, and I was like, my head is too big. I kept trying to tell him, my head is too big in the braids, but he was, he pulled over and he stopped and he adjusted the straps and made sure that at least it was somewhat perched on my head. So I guess if we fell off the bike, I don't know, the sides of my head would be spared. I don't know, but totally safe. I felt totally safe there, and everyone reiterated the same thing. I didn't hear anything about any crimes being committed while I was there. I was not worried about that at all. Speaking of money, tipping is expected and tipping is accepted. This was not the case in Taiwan. However, in Thailand, tipping is expected and tipping is accepted, and they're very gracious and they accept it. Of course, they nod and they bow, but it's not no, don't give me. Everyone is very open to receiving that tip. So make sure that you bless the culture and bless the locals and stimulate the local economy while you're there. Download the Bolt rideshare app. Download it before you even get there. This way you can take advantage of perhaps using it from the airport, because you may save yourself a couple hundred baht using it for a ride from the airport rather than getting into a taxi. The other thing about the Bolt app is that it translates into your language. So even if the driver does not speak English or French or Spanish or whatever it is your native language is, it translates your speech into Thai for the driver to understand it, and whatever the driver is texting in Thai into English or Spanish or French so you can understand it. So it's awesome. It's really, really great, and it's super easy to use, just like using Uber and Lyft, and so highly recommend it. I used it and I found that it was great. So along those same lines, I recommend that you pre-arrange airport transport. Otherwise, you will be just bombarded with taxi drivers at the airport trying to get you into their ride. Now, interesting story, I think I told you during the vlog, I can't remember if I did or not, but there was someone there who I met at the Hong Kong airport when I was transferring, when I was connecting flights, and he offered for me to ride with him in his car because his company was paying for the car, and he went up and he bargained, he negotiated with the taxi driver to drop me off and to drop him off at two separate locations. He was in central Phuket and I was out by the coast by Kata Beach, and I think he gave the person like 1200 baht, and he did that for 1200 baht, whereas if I had gotten into a taxi by myself, they were planning on charging me 1200 baht just for my ride. So yeah, he saved us a couple hundred baht. He saved me a ton because he didn't take anything from me. He was just like, you know, no, it's my pleasure. And so I got a free ride to my hotel. He's very sweet. Thank you very much, Brian. Speaking of which, bargaining and negotiating are expected. So he bargained, he negotiated for the taxi ride. I bargained, I negotiated for a purse that I bought from one of the local vendors, one of the local crafts people. And she, I think, was first saying something like 500 baht. And I was just like, oh no, I'm not paying that. And I think she came down to like 350 when I started to walk away. Because, you know, one of the things I teach my students, at least with negotiating, is be willing to walk away. Be willing to just leave it all on the table, right? And so I'm just like, okay, thank you very much. Have a nice day. And I'm walking away and she's like, 350. And I'm like, okay, twist my arm. So I got a pretty neat bag that's like a little souvenir of the area. I also recommend that you get an eSIM card. Now I have a separate phone that I use when I'm traveling internationally. And so I use that phone with WhatsApp. I use it with Telegram. I download, you know, the Bolt rideshare app, all those different things onto that phone. And I also use an eSIM card with that. Now, be sure to check your phone before you go there to see if you can use an eSIM with it, because some phones, some older models, they do not accept eSIMs. I believe most iPhones do. Don't quote me. Double check with your phone to see if it will accept an eSIM. And you can purchase an eSIM, go online and purchase a SIM card, or you can purchase a physical SIM card when you get to the airport. If your phone does not accept an eSIM, you can purchase a physical SIM card there. And, you know, for like $10, you can get, you know, I don't know how many gigs of data. So you can call, you can text, you can use the internet, all of that on your phone. That is much cheaper than paying $10 a day for, you know, I know Verizon charges $10 a day if you use your phone service. So you can save, you know, 40 bucks, basically. $10 will last you the entire time that I was there, what, 5 days, 6 days? $10 was sufficient for that period of time. If you are staying for a shorter period of time, you do not need to have a visa to enter Thailand. You simply need to have, I believe it's either 1 or 2 empty pages in your passport. Of course, a valid passport that does not expire within the next couple of months, and then you should be fine, okay? So that's all that is required. Of course, before you always go, I always say to check, see what the State Department advisory rating is from 1 to 4. It was a 1 when I was going there, so I felt completely safe. I also made sure I enrolled in the STEP program, and this told the U.S. consulate that I was there. If there was going to be a problem, there were cell phone numbers, emails that they can contact me, that they can get me out. They knew the address of where I would be staying, of the resort where I would be staying, and the length of my stay, all of that. So if anything occurred, they would contact me right away. So those are my tips for you if you are going to Thailand. Really short and sweet and to the point. I hope that this helped. If you've been to Thailand recently, especially Phuket, and you have some recommendations for the rest of the community, please share those down in the comments, because again, this is a teaching and learning community and we can all learn from each other. Would I go back to Thailand? Absolutely. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, I'm planning to go back next year, and I'm planning to visit Bangkok as well as Phuket again. I would also like to go to visit the Phi Islands, or is it called Phi? I think it's Phi. The Phi Islands, and stay there for a longer period of time. I want to stay at least a week, hopefully a month. I'm shooting for a month, minimum a week, and it was so awesome. It really was. The people are lovely. The food was amazing, and I just really enjoyed myself. Now, where am I going next? It's someplace I've been before, this next trip. However, my son has not been there, and so I'm going with him, one of his friends, and then one of my friends will be joining us there as well. I'm renting a villa, and we're going to have a great time. We're staying 5 days, and we're going to Turks and Caicos. Now, I have posted about a resort on here before. I did not vlog about Turks and Caicos when I first went there because that was right at the beginning of my channel and I didn't do any vlogging then. And so I just did like informational videos. So this time I'm going to do some vlogging for you so you can see what we do there, what we eat there, where we go, all of that kind of stuff. And that's another place that I feel very much at home with the people, with the food, with the safety, with the cleanliness of the country. The American dollar is accepted there, so I don't plan on changing any money. It's very expensive there, so that's why I'm renting a villa this time instead of staying at a hotel, which I stayed at a hotel for 7 days before. But this time, staying at a villa and purchasing some groceries to at least save money on like waters and fruits and, you know, just like snacks and those kinds of things, and just having everybody together, because before it was just a solo trip. This time it's more people and it just would not make economical sense to have everybody scattered about in different rooms. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Again, remember to like, share, subscribe, come back for lots more travel content, and let me know down in the comments, what are your recommendations? Where should I go next? Because I need a new place to go in August. So let me know where I should be heading next. As always, remember to value experiences over things, because travel is the only thing you buy that truly makes you richer. Thank you for watching. Ciao.